All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So in this one, I wanted to really just go over some of the latest news and notes surrounding the New York Jets, right? There is a ton of news coming out today about injuries, about Haason Reddick, also a massive kind of trade. I don't want to say rumor, but a lot of speculation surrounding, of course, Mike Williams. With a couple of new wide receiver injuries, and obviously we saw DeAndre Hopkins get moved early this morning in exchange for, I believe it was a conditional 5th-round pick, going from the Titans to the Chiefs. So let's dive into the first bit of news here, which is supposedly Aaron Rodgers is dealing with a hamstring injury. According to Zach Rosenblatt, he's limited today, but it shouldn't impact his ability to play on Sunday. Now, to me, this is pretty interesting because, we all know Aaron Rodgers' age. We all know about the Achilles injury, but we've seen him literally end games limping 2 times this season. Right, once against the Denver Broncos, once against the Minnesota Vikings, and then in that Buffalo Bill game, it didn't really look like he was moving around all that great. The mobility with Aaron has definitely been a factor, but again, you can't expect 40-year-old post Achilles tear Rodgers to look like 29-year-old, in his prime Aaron Rodgers. That's of course not fair, but I think a lot of fans were hoping for at least a little bit more kind of mobility, right? No one's asking Rodgers to be Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, but I think it's really just kind of the ability to dance around the pocket, to feel pressure, and to slide when needed. Now, of course, it doesn't help that our offensive line has not looked great this season, especially off the left side with Tyron Smith. So it does feel like it's kind of one thing after another with this football team right now. And, hopefully, again, from the sound of it, doesn't sound like Rodgers is going to miss time or anything like that. But I do think it's something to monitor, right? He dealt with a calf injury in training camp. He dealt with an ankle during this season. Now he's dealing with a hamstring. And again, post Achilles tear. This is a lot of minor stuff adding up here. So, we'll see how it plays out, but again, right now, it doesn't sound like there's any sort of panic surrounding the situation and injury. Now, another unfortunate thing about Sunday night's game against the Steelers, not only did we just lose in embarrassing fashion, but we had a bunch of players get hurt, right? AVT hurt his ankle and is not practicing today. Lecky Fotu hurt his knee, and he's already missed a ton of time this season. He's not practicing. Ashton Davis got a concussion. Tony Adams hurt his hamstring. Neither of those guys are going to be practicing either. Now, the good news, DJ Reed's back, which is needed, right? I love DJ Reed. He has looked great this season. And then, of course, Michael Carter is practicing on a limited basis, so he's progressing, and he's a guy who's missed a lot of time, so it would be awesome to get him back into the fold. Now, as far as the Haason Reddick situation is concerned, according to Jeff Ulbrich, I don't know what's been going on the last couple of days, but supposedly Ulbrich said today the Jets are going to be evaluating him to see if he's good to go for Sunday. The Jets and Reddick obviously came to an agreement on Sunday morning, right before the Steelers game. Today's Wednesday. So again, I don't know what's been going on these last couple of days, but I believe the exact wording was the Jets are going to be assessing Reddick for the first time today. So we'll see how that plays out. At this point, Reddick is coming in half season, no training camp, no preseason. To me, it's just limited pass rushing situations, right? I'm hoping Reddick can be a major impact off the edge, and damn, do we need it without Jermaine Johnson. And I mean, we could take a look at everyone's production on the D-line outside of Will McDonald. From a pass rushing standpoint, it's not there, right? Michael Clemens not getting it done. Javon Kinlaw not getting it done. Quinnen's having a down year. Will McDonald's freaking dominating, though. I'm pumped for Will. 8 sacks on the year. Crazy. But again, we just need someone else. So could Haason Reddick be that other option? I think immediately, right? If he's healthy and he's good to go, I want to see him in the game. Even if you just have to stick him out wide and just say attack the quarterback in obvious passing situations, right? We've seen that done before, time and time again, where a team needs a pass rusher, they bring in someone on short notice, and that's really the plan. We're not gonna lay the entire playbook on top of you and say you got to learn it from front to back, and you got to do X, Y, and Z before you get on the field. Sometimes it's just as simple as, hey, We brought you here to rush the passer. Go do that on the outside. Now, in regards to the whole Mike Williams situation, man, I gotta be honest with you. I think I'm changing my stance a little bit on it. You know, if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, hey, do you want the Jets to trade Mike Williams? I'm saying no. I think I actually did a video on that when I was in North Carolina. I was going to a wedding, and news came out like super, super late on a Friday night, and I did the video in a hotel room. I'm like, no, I don't want to trade Mike Williams. He's a player who I like. I like his skill set. I was pumped that the Jets signed him. You know, we obviously have struggled passing the football this season. Taking someone out of that room to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially someone who has made some pretty tough grabs, right? Being able to, drag his feet and look tough over the middle of the field, hang on to a pass, knowing he's going to get decked by a safety. I think a guy like that is important. Bottom right, it really just comes down to this statement: win now team should not be trading away a win now piece. Especially a guy in Mike Williams, who is on a pretty affordable incentive-based 1-year deal worth up to $10 million. We should afford that. But if we look at where we're at now, 2-5, and understanding that the passing game is still an issue, we added Devontae Adams. Malachi Corley, for whatever reason, is a healthy scratch. How many snaps does he have on the year, by the way? 4? 4 plays? I mean, it's definitely under 10. Crazy, but you're looking at a guy in Mike Williams, to be honest, I don't think I would mind. Look, like if the plan is, all right, you know what? We're just going to throw it to Mike Williams one time per game. Like that's it. And we're not going to look his way because Rodgers, would rather go to Garrett, or he would rather go to Devontae or Breece out of the backfield, or Allen Lazard. It seems like Jeremy Ruckert gets a lot of targets too, by the way, this season compared to, years previous. But again, if there's really no effort to get Mike the ball, I honestly wouldn't mind just picking up a mid to late round pick. And that way the Jets can clear at least a little bit of money. That was kind of the speculation, first, which was, again, a couple weeks ago, which was, hey, if the Jets get Devontae Adams, and keep in mind, Devontae Adams did restructure his deal, but still, if the Jets acquire him, they're going to have to move, a contract on the books this season, which ultimately led to potentially moving Mike Williams. So, I guess the Jets could save a little bit of money. And although I don't want to trade Mike Williams, because you never know if Devontae Adams is going to get hurt or Garrett Wilson's going to get hurt, and you need that next guy to step up, it just doesn't feel like Rodgers and Mike are on the same page. It doesn't feel like there's going to be any effort to get Mike Williams the football. I've been banging on the table asking for a Mike Williams fade in the end zone since the start of the year. I don't think we've seen that one time, So if the plan is, okay, maybe we'll go to Mike 1 or 2 times per game, I really wouldn't mind picking up a 5th or a 4th round pick and clearing some money in the process. Again, I don't want to do that, but if it does happen, I'm not going to be, infuriated or anything like that, compared to maybe if we didn't have Devontae or Mike Williams was dominating and Aaron Rodgers was targeting him, throwing like 8-9 passes his way per game. It just doesn't look like that's going to be the case this season. And I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section on the whole Mike Williams situation. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who lost Chris Godwin. That looks like a season ender. Mike Williams will be back by week 11. So could Tampa come calling, right? The Chargers need some wide receiver help. They obviously know Mike Williams well. Could they come calling? The Saints just picked up MVS, so I don't really think they're in a position to, go out and trade for Mike Williams as a 2-win team, right? Give up an asset. The Chiefs, obviously, they're off the board with acquiring D-Hop. So, and also to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I would honestly say that the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably the team that makes the most sense outside of Tampa, as a suitor for Mike. And then the last bit of Jets news here, Jalen Mills was promoted to the full-time roster. And I got to be honest, Jalen Mills deserves to start from here on out. What we've seen from the safeties this season, it's been awful. Jalen Mills showed a ton in that Steelers game. He was flying around the field. He was he was, asked to make plays in the deep parts of the field. He was asked to make plays up towards the box. And I felt as though he was always around the football. And he has not been here long. So, if you've essentially got an upgrade at that position, and he's only been here for, what, a couple of weeks. Yeah, sign me up for that. He deserves to go out and start, especially with Ashton Davis and Tony Adams both dealing with injury. But even if both of those guys were healthy, I want to see Jalen Mills in the starting lineup. We are 2-5. It's time to start shaking things up. So, massive game this week against the New England Patriots. It's I mean, must win. I mean, we've used that term must win a lot this season, and the Jets keep losing. So, we're gonna have to go on a win streak here, right? We are gonna have to go on a win streaks, and it starts this Sunday in Foxborough against the Patriots. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.